You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and The Pepper Master, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind. Well, good morning and hello, kids. Welcome to Season 3 and episode number 57 of the Daily Beaver here on the Crier Media Network. Today, recording day is Tuesday, February 14th, 2023. Ah, l'amour, toujours l'amour. Ah. I know, Mr. Grizzly's rolling his eyes there, but kids, focus here right now. Focus here right now because it's about love. And I'm giving you love. All right. And it looks like it will be a mostly sunny day and clear evening, perfect for romance here at the Beaver Lodge. In fact, my beaver sweetie and I got a little bit of a head start on romance this weekend. There was a sort of gay prom being held at some place where actually they lost the venue because there was flooding, and the Legion, thank you, Legion, came in and bailed us out and allowed us to hold the event. So it was like going to a high school prom dance with all the decorations, whatnot, and semi-formal, and it was a lot of fun. And then last night we made dinner together and opened up a bottle of wine, and there are more things happening today, so it's all about the love, so I'm in a very good mood, kiddies. I'm your host, the Eager Beaver, pronounce he, him, hey, Mr. Beaver A, and with me as always is my dear friend, Mr. Grizzly. I feel like I need to be a Care Bear today and send him like some extra oomph. Of course, a big thank you goes to our podcast's founding sponsors, the Pepper Master, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing and CanadianTarot.com. Today we have a Tuesday morning quickie for Valentine's Day. But first, hello, Mr. Grizzly. How's your mental health today?
Hey, Mr. Beaver. It's there. Mental health is there. I'm probably a touch better than yesterday, so we'll take that as a positive, right?
Yeah. Everything better is better.
Right? Yeah, exactly. I'm still above ground. That's all that matters.
All right. Well, I'm sending you a big old hug.
Thanks.
Brighten up your day. A little bit
I'll
of
get it from
sunshine.
you on Saturday when you get here for the podcast.
I know. I am so excited. Good morning, Kit Linda M. Good morning, Kit Saucy. Good morning, Kit Jillian. Good morning, Kit Lazy Sunday. Good morning, my good friend Pete. How are you? My red is not very, very dark, but if you see behind me on the board, there's a little message for you today, Kits, asking you if you'll be my Valentine. So there you go. In the headlines today, depending on how much we gab and how much we get to, but there's some developments with the John Tory, some developments on the health file, and other stuff. So, but before we go any further, we have to say hello to our good friend, my companion, Mr. Grizzly. Good morning, Mr. Grizzly. How's your mental health today?
We did this.
I know that.
Oh,
but I'm
okay.
asking you about that.
Okay. I thought I was having a Groundhog Day moment there. Did we just do this? Good morning.
No.
Good morning.
Okay. All right. I'm just playing with you.
I'm not fully awake. Clearly, you can tell. So you're messing with my head.
I'm messing with you. All right.
So
You got anything to start us off with?
Yeah, I do. I saw this posted last night by an Indigenous comedian and writer, and his statement was basically, I do this for a living and I couldn't write something this comical. And I have to post this because this is a real thing from this past Sunday that millions of people saw and I didn't pick up on until he pointed it out to me. I'm just going to put it up on the screen. We'll let it sit there for a few seconds, then I'll explain it for the audio podcast folks.
Okay.
Read that.
Ooh.
So it's a photo of the end zone of the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. And in the end zone, painted on the field is Chiefs. And painted in large block letters in the out of bounds at the end of the end zone in front of the goalpost is End Racism. End Racism written in front of Chiefs. Just marinate on that one for a little bit, shall you?
Yeah. Was that a real thing?
That's a real thing.
Okay, that wasn't a meme. That's not a doctor thing. That was what was actually on the field.
That was actually on the field. Legitimate.
Oh my God. I have like a chorus of Alanis Morissette's behind me.
They can't help themselves, can they? Well, we got Washington to change their name, and that's something. Yeah, but still, you're still. Oh, never mind. In other news, I have something that is also. I mean, that's in unintentional comedy, right? Now, here's something that's also quite funny because it describes currently where we reside. The seasons in Canada: winter, full spring. Second winter, spring of deception. Third winter, the pollenine, actual spring. Summer, hell's front porch, false fall. Second summer, actual fall. Right now, we are at fool's spring. Yeah. We should be in second winter, but we are at fool's spring right now because it's going to be 8 degrees in Canada's capital tomorrow.
I know. 8. And again, we just had like these major snowstorms. We had easily 3 feet of snow on the front lawn.
It's all gone.
I am seeing my lawn again in February. I am disturbed.
The canal still isn't open, and they're predicting that it's not going to open this year for the first time ever in history. Now, it's been, it used to freeze over like 100 and some years ago, and people would skate on it before it was an official skating rink, because that started in was it 70 or 71? I don't recall exactly. Either way, this will be the first time it will not officially open by the looks of things. If we don't get a heavy duty cold snap for like a good 2 weeks, it's not going to happen, which is really troubling because I love to skate on the canal, and it's a big source of tourism. People want to come and skate on Canada's world famous Rideau Canal here in Canada's capital of Ottawa, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen at all this year, which is really upsetting, especially for those of us who love to skate on it on a constant and daily basis when it does freeze. I mean, the outdoor rink didn't open last year, but it is open this year, but it's been closed for the last few days because, well, Mother Nature is not cooperating, which means she's pulling a passive aggressive on us, and we are in for a rude awakening when she decides to
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 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 No.
to
No.
smack us for it.
Yep. Oh no. We are in trouble.
Yep.
And Mother Nature don't negotiate. Right. All right. Let's get to it. John Tory, the mayor. There has been, as always with these types of things, there is more that comes out. Now, before I start this, the first thing I want to mention, however, is how would I say it? This is very old school.
Mm-hmm.
What Mayor John Tory has done, as far as I'm concerned, was standard operating procedure back when I was way younger. If a minister screwed up, like for example, there was a suggestion that maybe they did something improper, they would actually step down from their cabinet position
Immediately.
while the investigation was going on
Mm-hmm.
until they were cleared.
Mm-hmm.
Now they just stay. In a situation like this, yes, they would find out that they've been busted and they would resign. And they would not make excuses and they would just go.
It's like, I screwed up. I'm out. See ya. You know?
Yeah. I screwed up and I got caught. But now we have just the puff up your chest bombast and blast through it people, right?
Mm.
It reminds me, like, when we were talking about the states of George Santos, I was watching the Daily Show the other day. And they were talking about the State of the Union, and Chelsea Handler was hosting. And she goes, Marjorie Taylor Greene stands up and she goes, liar. And George Santos stands up and goes, over here.
Yes.
Right? I mean, they're proud of it now, right? So this is very old school.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I'm concerned, this should still be the standard operating procedure.
Has he stepped away though? Because he said he was going to resign, but I don't know if he said he's sticking around for the budget first, right?
Yes. So again, it's sort of that other story I mentioned about the Cardinal Ouellet, who's like staying on until after Easter. Yes, I will resign, but first the celebrations. I will resign, but first my legacy.
Yes.
But apparently there's a lot of. It would also create a bureaucratic train wreck because of the strong mayor thing.
Mm-hmm.
The budget is now his creation more than council's creation. And then, so if he leaves, then he's not the mayor, so it's not his budget. So who tables it? And so
complicated, right?
It just seems, that everybody pretty much agreed. It's sort of like, okay, you're stood up, you admitted that you're going, but okay, I understand that you're going to leave, and fine, we want you to leave, but given that it's like 2 days before the mortgage needs to be paid, make sure you pay the next month on the way out, right? Just don't leave and stick me with it.
Yeah, pretty much.
My fault you're leaving. So
why you got to go and make things so complicated?
Miss Avril. Mm-hmm. So so points for that. Owning up, taking accountability, taking responsibility, stepping down, trying to leave as little mess. Now, as little mess in terms of the bureaucracy, what his budget is going to do, it might have been, some people would argue that it might be better that he not pass that budget and see who gets to be the mayor, and hopefully it's somebody on the other side of the spectrum, and then the budget would look different. So where you sit on that is, but it seems that the main reason, and it seems that it to be an agreement within council that we're trying not to leave a bureaucratic mess, so that's why he's staying. But it doesn't seem to be a Larry Craig thing, where I intend to resign, and just, I intended to, I just never got around to it. Sorry.
Yeah, that happens sometimes, right? That happens.
Right. Yeah. So there was an interview with David Ryder, who's the City Hall bureau chief from the Toronto Star, and there were some articles that started appearing yesterday. Almost sort of like the anatomy of a. There's like a picture of Mayor Tory in his office about half an hour before he resigns that some person snapped like from away through the window, but it seems that the story is that the Toronto Star had gotten a tip back in early December that the mayor and his wife had been estranged and were headed for divorce. And it seems that by probing around and asking some questions, it seemed to be an open secret within political circles that wasn't indeed the case. And she was actually living in Florida at the time. And if you'll remember back in the days of Harper, there was some rumors similarly about Laureen that she had moved away from 24 Sussex and was living in New Edinburgh, well, at the Chateau Laurier for a while, then New Edinburgh, and then was basically, in Calgary most of the time, but coming back for Christmas and Christmas cards and that type of stuff to keep up the appearances. Now, I don't personally know whether any of that was true.
None of that was true.
Right.
None of it.
But
it was just
you
a
get
rumor.
these you get these rumors, right? Going on. So this one apparently was an open secret in the circles that she was primarily living in Florida. It seems that a little less than 2 weeks ago, it became confirmed that it was not just an estrangement, but that there was a triangle going on, and that the third person in the mix is someone that wasn't working for the mayor now, but what used to be a junior staffer in his office at one time. That was all they had at that. Now, whether the relationships had started while she was a junior staffer in the office had not been confirmed. So it's like they knew that she had been working for the mayor at some point, but not now, and now they're in a relationship. So there's still that piece of the puzzle missing at this point. And that's one of those things that are important, right? When we talk about stuff and you hear people commenting, you only know what you can show, which is something that, if, oh God, what's his name now? Cuomo, that used to be on CNN, used to say all
Andrew.
the time before he got booted. No, the other one, Chris, I think. So you can only know what you can show. So, and then every now and then there's a blank in the story, and often people fill in those blanks with what they wish / need / want to be true to create that narrative. So always remember when you're listening to stuff, make sure that, make the difference between what you can actually show and is anybody filling in some blanks here with things that cannot possibly be known. So at that point, that is not known when the relationship started. And then last Thursday, it seems that Toronto Star sent a list of very, very detailed questions from the rest of the probing that they had been doing to the mayor via his spokesperson. And the next day came a statement from the mayor's lawyer confirming, now I don't know if that's a personal lawyer or a lawyer from City Hall, but from a lawyer confirming everything and adding that the relationship did indeed start when both were working in the mayor's office. So the Toronto Star, that's when they went to, print, when they went online with the story.
Yes.
And
public.
About 1 hour,
they went public.
Went public with the story. And 1 hour after the story went live, Tory held his press conference. So that's when I'm going to say it's old school. It's very old school.
Wow.
That's how it used to happen. And sometimes the resignation would sometimes even come before the story because we didn't have online and you had to wait till the next newscast or next newspaper print, right? The morning or evening edition or next day, right? So you had
the news
time.
cycle.
Yeah. So the news cycle being the shortened. So this is very, very old school.
You'll get around to it.
Exactly. Now, around to it. I like that. So David Ryder said, and I'm quoting him here, and I'll be honest, even though we had done a couple of weeks of pretty hard reporting work on it, if we had concluded that we were convinced that there was no relationship while he was her boss, that anything that happened after she moved out of the mayor's office, we probably wouldn't be talking right now. I don't think we would have published the story. In Canada, generally, in political coverage, politicians are allowed to have a private life, and there is a line, and the line for us is, does it impact his duties as the Mayor of Toronto? Does it impact his office? In this case, it seemed clear to us that once they confirmed that, in fact, there was a relationship while they were working together, We also had some internal reports from people working there that they found that she was given senior duties that were unusual for a junior staffer. She went on several trips with the mayor, including to Europe and New York City, that raised some questions. And also, her post-City Hall employment is with a company a mayor has been involved with in the past. So all those raised flags that said we should keep reporting. And in fact, it was newsworthy and was worth reporting.
So that, yeah, it's like I said yesterday, it's because, if she wasn't a subordinate, if she was just a random individual that he had met, fine, he's going to philander. Politicians tend to do that, whatever, no big deal. But because she worked in his office, because she was a subordinate, because it's, stepping down is the right thing to do. And people are saying, well, he should stay because no, he should not stay. No, he should not.
No.
This is a clear violation of a code of conduct. You do not do that.
No. And as we mentioned, again, you put yourself in a position for coercion, blackmail, and that is not in the interest of the citizens. You violated, you breached the public trust.
You did. Period.
Period. You go. And by going the way you go, this is where you're more likely to at least be able to have a second act somewhere.
Oh, and come on. He's not going to land on his feet.
No, but you know what I mean? It makes it much more easy for the organization that's going to hire you.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? Like, we hear that Jason Kenney just landed at Benton's, and it's like, that's a law firm and he's not a lawyer. So, and considering how he flamed out, like, I'm thinking as a PR guy, why would you want that association? I mean, I understand that you're going to get baffle business. He's been in government for 20 something years, knows all the levers, all the contacts, but seriously, you want that? You want the guy that got booted out while he had a majority being associated with your brand? Have you really thought this one through? So, it makes it much easier for the organization not to have to explain to people why it is they actually hired you.
Yeah, I would think so.
So, it, and, when we were wondering yesterday about the relationship with this person, because, yes, there is a power dynamic in terms of employer-employee, and there is an age difference, 68-31, but 31 is an adult. So,
yes,
this could be something that was mutual, right? Or rather than still inappropriate, but mutual.
Well, the power dynamic at play, though, right, is the thing.
Yes. And also, you're being now taken to trips to Europe and given senior duties, which affects the morale at the office, and that's your right. Let's put it this way. These are the things that lead to pieces of paper being put into brown envelopes and slept under doors.
As one does, right?
These are the things that build resentment in an organization.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
These are how organizations get leaky, which also puts the public trust at risk.
He violated the social contract.
Yeah, you got to go. So he did so in an honorable way, but it seems that he is indeed very protective of her, which is another reason why he's resigning. He does not want to drag her name in the mud, which would suppose that this was not some type of coerced relationship. Which would suppose. Does not confirm.
Right.
And we do not know. Right? So I cannot say. But if you're leaning, you're wondering, that would seem to be a piece of evidence that would indicate. But we don't know. We don't know.
I guess we'll never know.
Yes, and as Pete says, too late mud is there, and it seems that in the reporting there is way more than enough information for someone who's somewhat industrious to piece together that person's identity.
Oh yeah,
that was done very sloppily.
Yeah, there's lots of rumors pointing to it's this person here and here's. I'm like, you know what? We're not going to discuss that.
Why? Doesn't matter.
It serves no purpose. He was the one who violated the rules. He did the bad thing. She is collateral damage, and we don't need to add to the misery that her life will be going through while people are trying to figure out who she is and then get her input on it. Like, no, we're not gonna do that. No. I get it takes two to tango. They were both adults, but he was the one who was in the position of power and authority who chose to cross the line.
Yes. And listen, it's also 2023, and this guy has been in public life so often. And beginning of every new term, you get the ethics briefing, you get the.
He knows
when you're
better.
in public life, this this as like the back of your hand, right? So I mean,
He knows better.
Again, moral honest, you ought to know as well, right?
Yep.
So yeah, that's basically what we've got over here. And the budget meeting will be Wednesday. So if he's staying on and gets things through, I'm guessing it's not going to be staying on forever. But yeah, it's it's interesting. People are like really, really shocked about it because I guess they didn't. He's like someone people didn't see it from whom they didn't see it coming.
Mm-hmm. That's usually the case, though.
Like he's not particularly smarmy, right? And
no,
there's some people that you hear them talking, and you're like looking. Oh yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that guy's right. He's hey slick. But
just because somebody doesn't give off the vibe doesn't mean they're incapable of it. You have to remember, nobody knows what resides in the hearts and minds of an individual. So, he was capable of doing this because he did it. He admitted to it.
Yeah. But when you think like straight-laced conservative, I mean, that's the picture in the dictionary, right?
Yeah, but yes, the picture they want you to see in your mind's eye is that. More often than not, the straight-laced conservative is the one doing all the dirty stuff.
Often.
More often than not.
Never underestimate the quiet ones.
Exactly.
We also on the healthcare file, there's development. It appears that, doesn't appear. The premiers basically had their meeting yesterday by video conference, and they came out after the meeting to announce that, they were pretty much good with the healthcare deal. Always with like little comments. We had the minister from Quebec, Éric Girard, stating something like it's only like 50% of my worst case scenario or something. Doing these little dramatic type little things. But basically, the premiers came to the microphone and pretended, that they were accepting. So we are we have never been more united in, standing to accept this offer type thing. Well, gee, you are united to accept money. I'm sure it took like hours of deliberation to reach that strong, united agreement to accept money.
Yeah. Here's your treasure chest full of gold. Do you want it or not? Well, let me think about it.
Well, it was like that Theo Moudakis cartoon, right? They're standing by pot of gold and it's like, let me think about it. We have some reservations and we'll be writing you a letter about that, but we accept the money and and we're moving on to talk about the bilaterals. So Mr. Grizzly, that's pretty much as good as you can do on that file. This is a home run.
So. Yeah, I would agree.
Politically, the size of the ask that they came with was huge. Yeah, right. Look at Linda. In other words, after all their bluster, they caved and said, "Thank you." It's just, right, because here's
all smoke and mirrors, man. It's all smoke and mirrors.
We know the dance, but here's the thing, right? The Canada Health transfer is the prerogative of the federal government. It's not a negotiation. This is what we feel like giving you.
Yeah.
Right? So there's no negotiating that. The escalator, and this was the detail I was missing the other day, was normally 3% every year. That's going up to 5 for the next 5 years, but it's 3% minimum. It's a floor. So it's 3%
Mm-hmm.
or the nominal GDP for the year if it's higher, which is
Mm-hmm.
why next year the money that they're getting from that one is going to be way higher than 3% because
Right.
we've had a gangbuster year. So they're getting lots of bonus money as well. So when they're screaming, they know there's that little windfall coming in, and not one of them are talking about it, right? When they're talking to the public about how much they're getting, they're not talking about that at all.
Of course not.
So it would be really nice, as a citizen, to have a tool where that money and the extra 2 billion and that somebody adds it all together and like, what's the total amount from the federal government that's going to health?
Mm-hmm.
And that way we see what the provinces are actually spending on health, because I did not know this until recently, but Andrew Coyne was on at issue the other day, and he mentioned something, and I listened to it, and it's something that we always knew,
Mm-hmm.
but I never had a statistic for it. So you had Chantal Hébert first saying, if money could fix the system, provinces received more than twice the rate of inflation over a decade. And this is where it got us. And this is where it got us. So the problems that money we're supposed to fix were not addressed now. And now we have more acute situations. But Andrew Coyne said, one thing somebody should ask the provinces before they come back for more is, what did they do with the money they were given last time around? I'll tell you what happened. Since 2000, the federal transfers for healthcare have more than quadrupled. Provincial
Mm-hmm.
spending on healthcare has only tripled. If the province says we're spending all of the money they were getting from the feds, they'd be spending $70 billion more than they are. So what did they do with that $70 billion? They put it to other purposes.
Yeah. They didn't.
Somebody needs to tabulate all the money that's coming from the different pools and programs, saying this is what the federal government gives, and comparing it to put the pressure on the provinces that way to actually spend the money.
I saw that clip the other day and I went, oh, that's a home run, Mr. Coyne, because you're correct. Where did the money go? Where was it spent?
70 billion. All
7-0.
13 premiers combined. When
Yeah.
we tell you, kids, the premiers are the problem, there's a reason why there's a big, huge let's hate Trudeau.
Mm-hmm.
But because I hate Trudeau allows you to justify and believe everything.
It's just
The
a
premiers
thin
are the problem.
veil. Yeah.
This is a major deflection thing.
Yeah. Where'd that money go?
70 billion.
Do you recognize how much $1 billion is? Right? It's 1,000 million. Do you recognize how much that is? Do you know that $1 million adds up to about $3,400 a day over the course of a year? Do the math. 365. It's about $3,400 a day for an entire year if you do the math. 1 million. I could go with $3,400 a day for a month, and that would make a tremendous difference in my life. Now let's talk $1 billion.
Right.
Divide $1 billion. 1 billion over the course of a year. That's what, $300,000 a day or something like that. I'm not even sure the amount. It's an absurd amount of money.
Oh, wow.
Now do that 70.
Yeah. Kid Jillian has a cool fact here. Andrew Coyne's father was governor of the Bank of Canada back in the day.
Interesting.
So there you go. Comes back to that knowledge a bit, honestly. So yeah, there's, Dominic LeBlanc. I don't know what the heck you did behind the scenes, but whoa.
Yeah.
This was so damn smooth. It's absolutely incredible. So Heather Stephenson, she's the chair of the Council of the Federation this year because it rotates. So she was the one that's basically the front person doing all the press. She said, we had a very good meeting today. We're very much united on our front that we will be accepting the money from the federal government, but also recognizing that this does not represent what is a long-term funding need for our healthcare systems across the country. So we will be writing the Prime Minister to address some of the challenges associated with individual things within the agreement. Now, I laugh at her a lot, but there is one thing that she pointed out that is actually accurate. The premiers are considered about the possibility of a fiscal cliff that happens in 10 years as a result of the bilateral agreements, because that money is not within the Canada Health transfer. So whatever's in the Canada Health transfer is basically guaranteed, right? Unless you're actually going to go in and cut it, which would be political suicide, right? So that increases every year. The $2 billion that they're getting, this one injection for pediatric services and to clear the backlog and that type of stuff, that's one thing. And you might hear some premiers try to conflate that money and add that $2 billion to say that that's also like a fiscal cliff. That one's not. That's a one-time injection. And everybody knows it right from the get-go. There's no expectation whatsoever that money should be renewed every year, right? Like this, the 3% increase or the 5% increase that will happen now, that repeats every year. And that's where the beauty of compound interest happens there, where they get more money. The bilaterals.
I just did some quick math.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt, but I just did some quick math for the kits in case you were wondering. $1 million is about $2,740 a day if you divide it over the course of a year. $1 billion, $2,739,000 a day. $2,739,726 a day times a year for $1 billion. They're missing $70 billion. $2.74 billion a day, $1 million a day over the course of a year for $1 billion. That, like, I'm just trying to get into focus what these numbers actually represent. You can understand $1 million, but $1 billion is just a statement. It's not, and none of us will ever probably come even close to $1 million earnings in a lifetime. Well, maybe a lifetime, but when we're talking $70 billion that is unaccounted for, it's what? An obscene amount of money on a daily basis. $1 billion is 2.7 million.
It's not so much that it's unaccounted for. It's just been directed to other priorities.
Well, it
hasn't gone to
where it's supposed to go.
Because there is no duty for them to report or to account for the money from the Canada Health transfer going to health.
Right.
It just goes in general revenues.
So it's just, I'm just trying to, get people to focus on how much money that really is. It's an obscene amount of money.
Mm-hmm. No, I forgot what I was talking about before.
I'm sorry.
I had a third point.
My ADHD, and I saw a squirrel, and I had to point it out to everybody.
So,
didn't mean to knock you off course.
Yes, the bilaterals, the fiscal cliff. Basically, the money that's in the bilaterals, those are side deals. So when they expire, do they get rolled in? Are they considered as part of the overall transfer?
Mm-hmm.
Because a future government could just pull after 10 years, say, I'm not renewing those, and then they just lose all that money from the healthcare system, and then they just go back to the Canada Health transfer. So this was kind of interesting, is now they want those two envelopes, at least the bilateral money and the house for transfer money, to be added together to create that one amount, below which they can't go anymore. Which is probably in the interest of Canadians, to be totally honest, because, starting a new program, like, say, okay, we're going to fund it for 5 years, and whoops, okay, now you're on your own. See ya. It's probably not in our interest. So, yeah, in terms of doing that, so there's a legitimate concern there, but they can work on that. And it also seems that one of the things that may have gotten the premiers, that may have sweetened the pot for the premiers, is the federal government saying that it is open, assuming that it is in power, to in 5 years to be looking at it again and seeing if there's money that needs to be added to the pot at that point, which only makes sense because that's just adding, real-time evaluation as you go. And we're in 2023, and if anybody's developing a program that does not have evaluation built in, and particularly evaluation as you go built in, then why the fuck not? Because then you're hiding something. I mean, that's just like a big neon arrow saying, look here. Because if you're deliberately not putting, right, it's like the voting machines when they wanted to put one, it's sort of like an ATM style machine, but they didn't want it to print a receipt for you. Why?
You don't need to know where that's.
Everything prints a receipt. Why? So it's one of these things, right? That's one of those things that make you say why. Anyway, kids, I think we have a show, don't we, Mr. Grizzly?
We do, sir. We do.
All right.
Short, sweet, straightforward, and to the point. Let's wrap this baby up so I can get into the office and get my day underway, get some work started, get some money earned so I can keep this roof over my head.
That's the end of this episode of the Daily Beaver podcast. We hope you loved listening to us because we loved making this for you, and we loved putting the love in it for you because we love you and you love us and we love each other. And okay, I'm getting to Chicago again. Remember that sharing is caring and word of mouth is priceless. Let your peeps know about us because, I mean, we're friendly, right? Because democracy is something that you do. Someone did point out to me, I think it was Kit Gillian, that the Prime Minister has indeed, and did it a few days ago, made the appeal to Canadians for help for Turkey and Syria. The matching program with the Red Cross is indeed on, I believe, until the 26th. The federal government will be matching up until $10 million. And I found that actually really concerning because, listen, I consume a lot of news. I have not heard it anywhere on the radio or mentioned.
No. But I did see
Fiona, where it was everywhere.
Yeah, I did see a tweet about it the other day that is legit. It is taking place, but it's been getting no coverage.
Yeah. So things that make you go wonder why. Over there, different people. But yes, the campaign is on. So please, because democracy is something you do, be a good citizen of the world if you have the opportunity, and if you can, be a little generous because that could happen to anyone, anywhere, at any time, and you would like people to be there for us if it happened to us. If you really like this podcast, you can find us on the Crier Media Network, as well as all Beaver Grizzly friendly platforms. Stars and reviews are greatly appreciated. We thank you so much for all those who do that. And we love hearing from you. So if you want to, you can do that by reaching us on our Facebook page at True North Eager Beaver, at Twitter, on Twitter at TrueEager, or by email at truenortheagerbeaver@gmail.com. We have Kid Jillian saying I was tweet bombing at True North Eager Beaver Media yesterday. Yes, you were, and I loved it. Thank you. You can subscribe via our pod page, and that way when we have something new, it will come right to you right away. podpage.com/the True North Eager Beaver with a hyphen between each one of those words. And why not also subscribe to our True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated YouTube channel? That helps us out big time. We're trying to reach 1,000. So anyone who clicks that, we very, 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 very much thank you.
No, you had it right the first time.
I had it right the first time?
Yeah, right there. Yeah, down in the corner there. Yeah.
There you go. We can't do this without your kind and generous support. So if you feel we've done a particularly good show, or if you're watching, you see that little QR code up there. Nope.
Up there,
One day I will figure this out up there.
There, right there, right.
One day I'll become good at this. If you can scan that, and that will bring you to our tip jar, which is, if you're listening, at coffee, ko-fi.com/eagerbeaver. That's ko-fi.com/eagerbeaver. Get good pint of business for Mr. Grizzly here, or no, you're not drinking yet. Nope. No, a cup of hot coffee for Mr. Grizzly here and a cup of hot chocolate for me. And yeah, we would really appreciate that. And finally, we've got that smooth styling fashion for you. True North Eager Beaver merch or Mr. Grizzly Civic tees. You want them, you love them, and we have them for you in sizes small to 3XL at crier.co/crier-media-shop. And then you click on all the True North Eager Beaver buttons. Yep, that will bring you there. And if you're listening here, you'll see it in the chat. Just click that link. All right. From the Beaver Lodge, this is your Eager Beaver saying, until next time, dear kids, it can be a tough world out there. So please be kind and gentle with yourself and show yourself a little bit of amour, les petits chéris. Mr. Grizzly, do you have some words of wisdom for us before we go?
Yeah, feel free to spend time with Pamela Henderson today if you need to.
Pamela Henderson. Oh. Hey, babies, self-love is love. I'm just saying.
Whatever you need to do, whatever gets you through.
We don't
whatever
judge.
Gets you through.
We don't judge. All right, kiddies. Mr. Grizzly, please roll them credits. You are listening to
a True North Eager Beaver media podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and The Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind.
Have a great day, everyone. Bye.
Bye.